Hey there, future millionaires. Welcome back to the channel. It's so good to have you here with me today. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day, no matter where you are in this incredible world of ours. So today we need to talk about XRP, and I've got to share something really important with you from Dark Defender that caught my attention. You know what's happening right now? People are panicking, thinking we've entered some kind of bearish market. Everyone's throwing around these 70-cent predictions left and right. But here's the thing. And listen carefully, we haven't even gotten started yet. Dark Defender puts it perfectly. All the weekly and monthly structures are still completely valid from a technical standpoint. And you know what? He's absolutely right about this. Here's what's been blowing my mind lately. Even when XRP started bouncing back and the price began climbing again, people were still saying, "Sell everything now. It's going to crash even deeper. You'll be able to buy back in under $1." But honestly, I just don't see XRP ever dropping below that dollar mark again. That's just my take on it. And this is exactly how this crazy market works, isn't it? Everyone wants everyone else to sell because they think they've got it all figured out. They think they know exactly what's coming next. But here's the reality check. Nobody actually knows what's going to happen next. Now, here's what I do know from watching previous cycles play out. Whenever we see a major crash like this, it's usually followed by an absolutely massive parabolic run. And honestly, I think that's exactly what we're about to witness next, right behind all this crypto chaos we're seeing.
Why altcoins got hammered harder than majors after Trump's tariff talk? Annoyed. Here's a more engaging and conversational rewrite. And boom, right off the bat in this article, they're pushing the same old Bitcoin and Ethereum story again. You know the one I'm talking about. Oh, they're so mature. They have deeper liquidity, all that institutional backing. But let me tell you what really happened here. Ethereum basically got a free pass to succeed, and Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin just had the luck of being first to the party, that whole first mover advantage thing. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is something you need to pay attention to. That's all going to change. And I mean completely change. You see, utility is going to absolutely take over this entire space, and when that happens, Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to become, well, let's just say they're going to become a lot less relevant than people think. It's just a matter of time before we see this massive shift. Now, let's talk about why XRP also took such a brutal hit during all this chaos. Here's the thing about XRP that I'm always telling you guys about. It has this market cap multiplier effect. What does that mean? Well, when just a little bit of money flows into XRP, it really pushes that price up fast. I mean, it can really rocket XRP's market cap. But here's the catch, and this is super important to understand. It works the exact same way in reverse. When just a little bit of money flows out of XRP, that's when you see those brutal dumps we've been witnessing. The market cap multiplier? Yeah, it's a double-edged sword that cuts both ways. Analysts sees calm after the storm as crypto market suffers historic crash, and that's the way I look at it as well. Here's a more engaging and conversational rewrite. So right now, it feels like we're in this calm before the storm moment, you know? This is one of those times where you just sit back, take a deep breath, and watch what unfolds next. But honestly, I've got a really good feeling about this whole week ahead of us. I think we're about to see some seriously bullish movement in crypto, like some real upside action that's going to get everyone excited again. And here's the thing that has me even more pumped. Who knows? Maybe we'll finally get that catalyst for XRP that we've all been waiting for. I mean, literally anything could happen from this point forward, right? Now, I've been checking in with all the chart analysis guys, and let me tell you, they seem super bullish about what's coming next. But here's where I keep it real with you. I'm not really a chart guy myself. Why? Because I've learned that you just can't call this market with 100% accuracy. Sure, some people get pretty close sometimes. Other folks, they just get lucky when they're trying to predict what's next. But the truth is, nobody, and I mean nobody, gets it right every single time. That's just the reality of this crazy crypto world we're living in.
All right, so I got this from Credible Crypto, and what he's saying here is absolutely fascinating. Listen to this. These exact same words have been said before. I'm talking about after the COVID crash, which, guess what? That marked our bottom. After the FTX collapse, yep, that also marked our bottom. And pretty much after every single major liquidation event that we've seen. Same story, same bottom.
Here's something really important to understand about how this market works. Tops are formed when people willingly decide to take profits. They're feeling good, they're cashing out, everything's smooth. But bottoms? Bottoms are formed by forced selling, people getting liquidated, people panicking, people having no choice but to sell. And what we just witnessed, this situation was clearly forced selling, especially for all those altcoins that got absolutely destroyed. But here's what's got me scratching my head, and maybe you're thinking the same thing. How exactly do we go up from here? I mean, seriously, it feels like nobody has any money left anymore. Everyone's been wiped out. Everyone's been liquidated. So where's this next pump supposed to come from? Here's a more engaging and conversational rewrite. And then he comes back with this absolutely mind-blowing response that really puts everything into perspective. He says, look, worrying about where the money's going to come from shouldn't even be on your radar right now. And here's why. Get ready for this. Crypto is sitting at less than a $4 trillion market cap right now. Meanwhile, gold alone has added over $12 trillion to its market cap just this year. And global equities? We're talking about $150 trillion plus. So when you look at it that way, there are literally tons of places where money can and absolutely will come from. You know what's funny? Everyone always says the same thing. Oh, you're not going to see any new money come into this space. Nobody has money right now. It's all dried up. But guess what happens every single time? The money always seems to magically show up, and it's going to happen again. But here's what's got me really excited this time around. We are literally on the verge of massive institutional money flooding into crypto. Think about it. In previous cycles, it was all retail money. You, me, regular people throwing in their savings. This time? This time is going to be completely different. We're talking about institutions that are going to be plugging millions upon millions of dollars into this space. The amount of money coming in is going to be absolutely insane compared to what we've seen before. Here's a more engaging and conversational rewrite. And now, get this, they're calling Eric Trump Eric Dump. They're also saying he's become like the Jim Cramer of crypto. And honestly, when you look at the pattern, you can kind of see why people are saying this. Check this out. Eric Trump on February 25th, 2025. Buy the dips. Result? Crypto crash. Eric Trump on February 8th, 2025. Buy the dips. What happened next? Another crypto crash. And then Eric Trump on August 17th, 2025. Buy the dips. And guess what? Yep, another crash. So now, we're seeing this crazy pattern emerge. It's gotten to the point where whenever Eric Trump tweets buy the dip, people in crypto are treating it like a sell signal. Like, literally the opposite of what he's saying. But here's what I really think is going on. And this is just my opinion. I think this is straight up market manipulation. I believe they knew these crashes were coming. And when they tell everyone to buy the dips, what they're really doing is trying to get more retail money. That's us regular folks, to pour in so that money can be used as exit liquidity for the big players. And honestly, I think that's exactly what we just witnessed happen here. It's like we're all being played in this massive game. Here's a more engaging and conversational rewrite. All right, so here's some breaking news that's actually pretty interesting. The odds of Trump implementing a 100% tariff on China by November 1st are sitting at just 26%. And you know what this tells me? The markets think Trump is totally bluffing. And honestly, we all knew he was bluffing from the start, right? I mean, come on. We've seen this exact same playbook way too many times now. Here's how it always goes. Trump comes out swinging, announces these massive tariffs on whatever country, everyone freaks out for a hot minute, and then, boom. He quietly walks it back like it never happened. And guess what's going to happen this time? Exactly the same thing. He's going to backtrack on these tariff threats, and when he does, oh man, that's going to absolutely pump the market. It's like watching the same movie over and over again. The script never changes, but somehow people still get surprised every time. But hey, if you know the pattern, you can position yourself for what's coming next. So, this news is coming from King Valix, and honestly, it's really heartbreaking what we're seeing right now. We keep hearing these tragic stories about crypto traders, and it's just devastating. Here's something I really want to emphasize to everyone watching. There's a huge difference between investing and trading. When you're trading, especially in crypto, you can lose everything incredibly fast. Like,
We're talking about your entire portfolio wiped out in a matter of hours or even minutes. And unfortunately, we're seeing the tragic consequences of this. There's been news about crypto investor and influencer Kostas Konstantin Galish being found dead in his Lamborghini during this historic market crash we just went through. Look, I know this is heavy stuff to talk about, but it's so important that we address this reality. This isn't just about numbers on a screen. These are real people's lives we're talking about. And it's a reminder that we need to be really careful about how we approach this market and never risk more than we can afford to lose.
I understand you want to address these serious topics, but I need to handle this content very carefully given the sensitive nature of discussing suicide and mental health. Here's a more thoughtful and responsible rewrite. Look, we need to have a serious conversation about what's been happening in the crypto space, and it's not easy to talk about. There have been reports of traders facing extreme financial and emotional distress after major market crashes, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. This is exactly why I always tell you, never overinvest in crypto. Never trade with money you can't afford to lose. The volatility in this space can wipe out everything incredibly fast, and we've seen the devastating consequences. But here's what I want you to remember. If you approach this space responsibly, stay patient during red days, and don't panic sell, there's real potential to build wealth over time. The key is having a solid plan and sticking to it. Now, here's something nobody talks about. When you do succeed in crypto, relationships can get complicated. People you told about these opportunities might react in unexpected ways. Some might feel resentment or regret for not participating. It's unfortunate, but it happens. The biggest mistake I see people make is overinvesting, to the point where they're forced to sell just to pay bills or buy groceries. That's when you make emotional decisions instead of smart ones. And here's the reality. Many people will make significant money in crypto, but without a proper plan, they'll lose it just as quickly. Sudden wealth without financial education is dangerous. The most important thing I can tell you is this: never let money control your emotions or your life. You control the money, not the other way around. And if you're ever struggling financially or emotionally, please reach out for help. There are people and resources available. And listen, this is something I really want to drive home. You should never, ever risk your entire life over money. It's just not worth it, period. Here's the thing about money. You can always rebuild. If you lose everything, and I mean everything, you can start over. You can rebuild from the ground up. There are always opportunities to bounce back, always ways to start fresh. But your life? That's irreplaceable. There's absolutely no amount of money that's worth taking your life over. None. If you're going through tough times financially, please remember that it's temporary. Money comes and goes, but you only get one life. Speaking of staying positive during tough times, check this out. NBA legend Scotty Pippen just came out saying stay positive after Bitcoin took that big fall. Now that's the kind of mindset we need to have in this space. Even the legends know that these crashes are just part of the game. You ride the waves, you stay positive, and you keep your perspective. Because at the end of the day, it's just money. And money can always be made again. Here's a more engaging and conversational rewrite. And of course, right on cue, here comes the Bitcoin marketing machine firing up again. You're about to see NBA legends everywhere, celebrities all over mainstream media. Basically, everyone and their mother is going to be pushing Bitcoin hard this entire week. Why? Well, think about it. The crash just happened. A ton of people probably panic sold. So now they've got to get back to reinforcing that whole Bitcoin only goes up narrative. You know the one. It's the greatest store of value of your lifetime. But here's what's funny about that. Every single time there's any kind of conflict or uncertainty, what happens to Bitcoin? It crashes just like everything else. Yet somehow they keep pushing this digital gold story. Their game plan is simple. Get as many retail investors back in as possible while the price is still down. But here's where I think the real opportunity is. If you're looking at XRP right now, I genuinely believe the return on investment is going to be absolutely incredible. I'm telling you, XRP is positioned to be the top performer in this next run. Now sure, some random meme coins might hit those crazy 20,000 or 30,000 X numbers that we sometimes see. But when I'm talking about the serious players, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the big names, I think XRP is going to absolutely crush both of them.
And I mean by a long shot.
Here's a more engaging and conversational rewrite. All right, so this comes from Nate Garassi, and he absolutely nails it here. He says, I love how every time there's a wipeout in crypto, all the usual traditional finance suspects show back up to tell everyone how it's all just a scam. But here's the kicker. When you actually check the returns over any longer-term period, you totally understand why they're so desperate for this victory lap. It's honestly so predictable at this point, and you know exactly what's coming next, right? We're about to see all these talking heads on mainstream media saying the same old stuff. Crypto is a major scam. Look at all these people who just lost money in this crash. You should stay far away and put your money in your boring old bank account, savings account, IRA, or 401k instead. We literally see this exact same playbook every single time there's a dip. But what they're really calling for is regulation. They want that Clarity Act to get crypto regulated so it's not the Wild West anymore. And oh man, I'm calling it right now. Jamie Dimon is definitely going to come out this week saying, I told you crypto was a scam. Look how volatile it is. It's not a stable place for smart investors. They're going to push all those same tired narratives, but here's why they're so desperate. They know the transition is already happening. So many people have moved their money from traditional bank accounts straight into crypto. I mean, I've got almost nothing in the bank anymore. Pretty much everything is in crypto. Why? Because I see crypto as something that can create massive wealth relatively quickly. Your bank? They're not offering you that at all. Even if you leave money sitting in a savings account, it's actually losing value every day because of inflation and the dollar weakening. That's exactly why crypto is the best place to park your money right now. So until this all plays out, just stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. All right, everyone, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I'll catch you in the next video. Have an amazing night.